What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another video, and today we're taking a look at the original Xbox exclusive racing games Part 2. Let's take a look. Alright, first up we're starting out with a banger. Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller. Let's check out some gameplay.
Okay, High Roller, it's time to make some real dough. Here we go!
Taxi! Yes! You are the best! I'm crazy!
You've got to pick me up!
Come on, it's time to go! Hey, I've got company! Let's go!
Wait for me!
Let's
Keep going.
What? Let's go!
Oh, I know!
Let's go!
Trust me, relax!
Oh! I can drive better than you!
Whoa, time's running out.
Hurry! I can drive better than you! I can drive better than you! You lazy freaking driver!
Alright guys, so that's Crazy Taxi 3, which is a follow-up to the two games on the Dreamcast as well as the arcade versions, which are essentially the exact same games. Fantastic game here. You can still get this for relatively cheap, 10 to 20 bucks. Absolutely amazing game. You're going to get tons of hours of fun out of this. I would honestly recommend this over the first two games. First two are fun for nostalgia's sake, but this is it's kind of just a better version because it's got way more content. As far as there's like 16 different racers, 3 different like main levels you can play, then all sorts of bonus content that you can play, and it really is truly a great little racing game for the original Xbox. Next up, we have two games that are essentially the same thing, well, more or less a on-disc DLC way back in the day. So originally you had Sega GT 2002, which is a follow-up to Sega GT on the Dreamcast as well, so another Sega game being brought over to the Xbox. So Sega GT 2002, check out some gameplay of this. Alright, so this is actually a pretty good racing game. It took me a little bit of time to get used to the controls. They're very floaty. You really kind of just float while you're playing. But once you do finally get used to it, it actually handles pretty well once you figure out the controls and everything. And it's actually a pretty good racing game. It looks pretty decent for the original Xbox. And again, you can get this one probably even cheaper, $5-10 bucks. Now, Sega GT Online. You should probably go for this version, because essentially what this did was add online to the game. And then it also basically just has this built into it. So if you're going to get it, you may as well just get this one. You can still play this online through the Xbox Kai, and then there's also another newer Xbox Live online service. I'm sure someone will leave something down in the comments about that. It's a fairly newer service that has been added to the World Wide Web. So yeah, it's actually a pretty decent little racing game, and again, both these probably $5-10 bucks, so you really can't go wrong. And they're definitely not bad. They're definitely not bad. All right, next up here we have one that is actually pretty good, and this ended up evolving into the Dirt series, and that being Colin McRae 04, which is 2004. So this was where it all started for the Dirt series as Colin McRae 2004. Let's check out some gameplay of this one real quick.
And long 6 right. To 5 left, keep in. Into 6 right, 50. 2 right, straight, 100. And long 6 left, 50. 2 right onto ice, slippy. 6 left, 50. 6 right into long 4 left. Pitch. Into 6 right and long 5 left over crest, keep in. Into 6 right and long 6 left, 100. Long 4 left, opens over jump, 30.
Alright, so that's Colin McRae 2004. Pretty good game, good variety of tracks, not that many cars, however, being the genre of game it is and types of cars, rally cars and that kind of stuff, I accept it, but it would have been cooler if there were a bigger variety. Now, with that being said, the following year we had Colin McRae 2005. They amped this game up to 10. The graphics, the sound, the levels, and more cars. This is such an amazing follow-up. Most games where you just get like just a little bit extra, this was like they really tried to make it that much better. And it's kind of cool to go back and play these games and see the evolution of like where the Dirt franchise started out. And honestly, this looks really good on the original Xbox, and you will have fun with these. Both these games can be had for cheap. I will say though, if you want to kind of experience both, definitely go for 04 first, because once you get into 05, and let's jump into some gameplay real quick.
36 left tightens into long 2 left. Into turn 5 right and 6 crest, 50. K, 5 left and 4 right opens long. 23 left, 50. Long 4 left. And 5 right. Straight 30, long 6 right, tightens to 3. And K 3 left. Into long 6 right, opens over crest, and 6 left, and K 3 right. Into 2 right, and 2 left over crest, opens long. Into 4 right, and long 4 left over. 56 left, 70. 6 right over crest, keep in, into long 5 right over bumps. 34 left, straight 100. 4 right over crest.
See why you really just couldn't go back to 04 after you played this one, because it's just that much better. So definitely recommend getting 04 first if you truly want to play both for whatever weird reason. But if not, then just go for 05 because it's far superior. Alright, next up we have, oh man, this is a series that I still wish existed to this day. There were 4 entries, 2 on the OG, 2 on the 360, Project Gotham Racing. So the first one is a little rocky nowadays, I won't lie. So if you want to get one on the OG Xbox, I'd probably just go for 2, which we're going to talk about in a second. Project Gotham Racing 1, while still a really good game, can be found pretty much anywhere, can be found very cheaply. It's definitely shown its age at this point. So with that being said, Project Gotham 2. They really, again, amped it up for the following game. This is the one you want to get on the original Xbox. It's just that much better. The kudo points and just all that stuff. I'd really love to see them, and this has been something I've actually talked about many times on the channel. I'd love to see them bring this back Colin McRae, well, I guess that's really just the Dirt franchise, which still exists at this point. But if they were to do like Forza Motorsport, then Forza Horizon, and then a Project Gotham, and then maybe a game that's going to be in Part 3, and just kind of keep consistently going through that, like every other year having a different racing franchise, that would just be really good instead of just waiting for Forza Motorsports and then waiting for Forza Horizon. And it's the same repetitive racing cycle on the original Xbox, and it's just like, can we get some different stuff in here? So like, this is more arcadey, but it's more not Need for Speed arcadey. This is like adult arcadey, where it's like, it is an arcadey game, but it like, they handle really sharp and feel really well. And go pick one of these games up. Even if you just get Gotham Racing 1, you still enjoy it, but definitely go for 2 on the original Xbox. Alright, next up here, this game was kind of a letdown, I'm not going to lie to you, that being Indycar Series 2005. Exclusive to the original Xbox, not a good game, I'm going to be honest with you. Very horrible graphics, especially 2005, so like this was late original Xbox, and this game looks pretty trash. Let's check out some gameplay.
So far.
Yeah, so those graphics are pretty trash. Audio's not great. Gameplay's not great. Just really kind of a shit game, if I'm going to be honest with you. Avoid this one. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about another game here. I don't know whose brilliant idea this was to make this game. This is definitely going to be a double avoid game situation here. This is Volvo, Drive for Life. And I guess technically it's just Drive for Life. Volvo for Life is their slogan or whatever. So this is like a weird, it's not even a racing game. It kind of is, but kind of isn't. So let's just jump into some gameplay real quick.
Welcome to the Volvo Drive for Life gaming experience. A crash course in high-performance driving. Come tour our state-of-the-art, one-of-a-kind safety laboratory. Check out and then smash up some of the world's safest cars. And then see if you've got what it takes to get through our specially designed proving grounds. If you make the cut, we'll see what you're made of on one of our simulated driving courses. So prepare yourself for a gaming experience that makes learning.
So this is like a weird, the initial cutscene, which is way too long for me to show you, just has like the Volvo announcer talking about how they're going to run through some crash courses with you to demonstrate how safe Volvos are and this and that. And then you basically get to effectively do the crash courses and this and that. If you can find it cheap enough, just for the sheer weirdness and uniqueness of this game, I definitely recommend picking it up from that standpoint. However, you're really not going to play it much, so I would not recommend paying any more than $5 for this game, because it's you've probably never heard of it for this exact reason, because there's really just nothing that great about it. It's just kind of a weird, unique game for the original Xbox that you can only play on the original Xbox. Alright, next up here. We've already discussed this one on the B section of the A to Z alphabet exclusives list. And this one kind of is an exclusive because of the content that it has. However, it's not really a full exclusive because you can get it on the PS2. That being Burnout 2 Point of Impact. However, this is the developer's cut for the original Xbox. So that features a bunch of extra content for the original Xbox. Let's jump into some gameplay here real quick. Alright, so, Burnout. Easily my favorite racing franchise. It's just an amazing series. I really, really, really miss Burnout. I would love for them to bring it back in the old school vein of 1, 2, 3, 4 and Revenge. Paradise, not really a fan of that one if I'm going to be honest with you. However, Burnout 2 was still when it was like super arcadey and it was just race after race after race after race after race. And it was just quick, fast-paced little action, and it was just a good game. And you can still get this really cheap, and like I said, this has some exclusive original Xbox content on here. So it is not exclusive, however, there's exclusive content on the game. So for that aspect, just wanted to throw this one in there. Alright guys, you know I always save something juicy for the end here. Outrun II for the original Xbox. Quite possibly one of the best racing games of all time, and definitely one of the best racing games on the original Xbox. Let's check out some gameplay.
Get ready.
Alright guys, so that's Outrun 2 for the original Xbox. This can be had for anywhere, if you're lucky, as low as 20 bucks all the way up to 50 bucks. With that being said, this is definitely one of the more pricey games in the original Xbox. However, there's a reason for that. This is one of the best racing games you will ever play. It's truly just fun every time you pop it in and play it. Cannot recommend it enough. Now, with that being said, there is also Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast for the Xbox. Not exclusive, this version is also on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, as well as the PC. However, with the PC, I guess you would need either Windows Millennium or possibly Vista to play that. I'm not honestly sure, and that would be kind of a feat in itself. And then let alone, I would imagine the PC version is harder to find than this one. So realistically, if you're going to get it and you want to get it for a reasonable price, get that for the PlayStation 2. The amount of content that is different between these is not as big as you would think. So really just get this version if you're like a purist and like really want all the content and all that crap. It's mainly just a bunch of extra cars and I think a couple extra songs. All the levels are still here on this one and the original number 2 version for the original Xbox. So with that being said, is it worth spending this generally goes for $100 to $250 depending on the quality. Is it worth spending that kind of money? Well, that's really up for you to decide. But I think you'd be more than happy just getting the original version for the original Xbox, which you can probably find at your local store. So I definitely recommend picking that up. So those are 10 more exclusive original Xbox racing games that I wanted to just talk about in this part 2 of a 3-part series. Part 3 will be out here shortly. So be sure to go back and watch part 1 if you haven't, and look forward to part 3 if you have not. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. As always, peace out for now. Till next time, guys.
Come here, you mother...